Alright, welcome everyone to A.K.A. game here. Got another special one for you today. They're all special in their own way, but this one is just yet another villagers only match. You know where this is going, based on the name alone here. You've seen one already with Gotcha, who is using his Smurf account called Villagers Only. And the strategy is actually really simple. You guessed it. It's only villagers. That's it. That's the whole strat. So, buckle up here. This is going to get pretty crazy, as usual. We'll do a quick introduction here, see what's going on the map. So, yours truly, villagers only, in the color teal, on the southwest side of the map. Villagers only. And his opponent on the northeast side of the map is Frodo Bolson, 5657. Now he's in the color purple. Playing as the English against VO's Chinese civilization here. And got some scouting going on so far. There's sheep trailing behind the scouts, and our players are checking out the map. Villagers only has a couple sheep so far to his name, just getting out there, and it looks like kind of trailing the other scout, scouting out the same areas, and fortunately not grabbing up too many quite yet, but maybe we'll see that start to turn in a minute here. Both players also grabbing up resources here, looking to get that food income to start doing age up. We're seeing significantly more gold for Frodo, and significantly more food so far for villagers. But we'll see what happens in a minute here as they're getting started on the timer here. We're about 2 minutes in, and villager counts are 11 for Frodo and 11 for villagers, so this is pretty typical, just getting everything started here. Real quick, oh, I got a frog in the throat. Real quick, the gold mine for villagers only, that very first one is extremely far forward. It is pretty exposed there, with, there's a good amount of food source and some stone right next to it, which is really awesome, but being that close to the river, that much on the front line, a little bit exposed, a little bit of a tough position there, so we'll see how that ends up this game. Now, Frodo, their gold mine is very close to the town center here. Love that positioning, very easy to defend, especially putting the council hall next to it with archers going to be coming out, the longbows that'll very easily defend those miners. That's very smart. Very successful spawn. That's not really successful, more so just lucky. That's a lucky spawn. That's a good spot. Chef's kiss. Love to see it. That's a good one. So, we are going to go into reveal all now. For the next phase of this game in about 3 minutes, 15 seconds. And we're going to get a full view of what's going on. Scouts are going around doing their thing. We'll just give it a quick fast forward since we're getting a lull here. Villagers on the wood line doing their thing. And now, alright, we're going to slow this down because the Chinese villagers appear to be doing what I believe is going to be a Barbican rush. And sure enough, here it is. The Barbican of the Sun is going up directly next to this council hall. There's 10 villagers building that up very quickly, and a scout just behind them taking the sheep home. The council hall goes up, so at about 4.5 minutes, Frodo is the first one to age up to H2, with villagers only very close behind with that Barbican of the Sun, almost immediately going to get going up here. And it's been got. There you go. Feudal age for villagers only. Gonna check something real quick here, and yep, we're golden. Have to make sure that's still recording because it's stopped recording so many times. I mean, that is the most annoying thing. Alright, so here we go. The 10 villagers just parked inside of that Barbican, and now they jump out. They're going to be doing something here. Have to assume tower rushing of some kind. A lot of micro going on, that's for sure. There's a lot of movement here, a lot of very precise, careful planning of the units. Meanwhile, the few villagers that are left in Villagers Only's base are doing some stone gathering, getting some off that wood line, and just collecting the sheep, the berries, and all that. Just a healthy economy, very steady, not disrupted in the slightest. Well, Frodo over here is kind of getting hammered away. Villagers are forced to be parked behind that town center where the Barbican can't get them. Just a little bit of a nuisance so far. And Villagers Only is stealing wood off the English wood line. You're seeing it here with the 10 villagers that built that Barbican are now stealing the wood. I'll take a screenshot of that. Stealing your wood. Disrespectful. Just the worst. It's like putting a thumb in the eye by stealing their resources. Just a little bit stuffed up here, but give me as we're might have just a little bit of a extra nasally sound today. More towers coming up, and villagers jumping back inside the outpost because these English villagers with their moment ability really put a stop to that for a second. And now the villagers jump out of the outpost and go right back to building that second one. Impressive micro there. Seeing it. Meanwhile, the Barbican just steadily firing off hand cannon rounds. Enemy town center. I really do love this rotational view ability. I'm so glad the devs added that. One thing to note here as well, as long as I'm thinking of it here, it looks like Frodo in this ranked match is a diamond ranked player, or at least they were last season, and they're showing it off. You know, probably still diamond this one. It's really good. Diamond is impressive in my book, and you know, always some good gameplay once you get to those higher elo. You know, things really start heating up as their micro just gets better and better. Tend to see. And if you're seeing shit like this with villagers only, I mean, you gotta have some skill to be able to pull that off. I mean, this is it's a difficult strat, you know, without military units to back up, you know, without springolds to take out enemy trebuchets and all that stuff. You know, granted, this is a voluntary strategy. At any moment, he could produce military units, but you know, this is a Smurf account. That would ruin the fun. It would spoil the meme to cheat like that. So, villagers only. 4 towers coming up, just snaking along this wood line, putting hand cannon slits on each of those outposts. Very smart, keeping the pressure on. Gonna be coming around that bend pretty soon. They'll be coming around the mountain when she comes, don't you worry. And it looks like Frodo has completely shifted the gold gathering to another gold mine off-center here. Abandoned that other one, obviously due to the outposts. And still able to gather up quite a bit with 5 villagers on gold. That's a steady amount there, so that's looking pretty good for Frodo. Longbows coming out one by one. Trying to snipe off those villagers, it looks like, but you know, there's 5 of them building an outpost, so that's unlikely to end well for the longbowmen. Villagers jump inside the tower, fire back, and the longbow goes down. Presumably hand cannon slits, yep, are being researched. That is happening. And villagers only, what's going on? No research yet as far as blacksmith or tower upgrades, anything like that. That'd be wise to see that happen, because then it would offer extra damage for the hand cannon slits on the outposts. But nonetheless, another outpost going on back here near that stone outcropping. A second one, okay. And something I imagine that we're going to be seeing here is probably stealing of the stone there by villagers only. And Frodo is building the King's Palace and is now in the Castle Age. Age 3, here we go. Gathering wood off the secondary wood line next to the palace. That's going to increase that villager production speed by quite a lot, having double the villagers coming out every single 20 seconds. Just faster production every minute. We got some villagers coming out here that are gathering the sheep, others here gathering the deer, more in the wood line, more on gold, all that. Villager count is 30 for villagers only, and is exactly 30 as well for Frodo Bolson. And there's this other outpost here, which It looks like Villagers Only is going to try to finish it. The enemy English villagers now snipe away at that villager. Jumps right back inside the tower, and cannons or arrows firing off. Jumps out of the tower again, tries to build it up, and the enemy villagers catch him in the act and kill that villager, and that outpost is effectively canceled. Some action going on over here. Buildings still firing off at each other. With the Barbican, the town center, exchanging arrows and hand cannons. Now 3 Chinese villagers jump out and attempt to continue hitting that outpost, but can't quite get it up because Frodo is really microing those villagers, really watching it, and yet again another attempt to get the tower up. This is just, it's really going on. You know, they are microing that so hard. More villagers for China coming up here with a wolf in tow trying to attack them. See, I think this is possibly thumbnail worthy. It's just the struggle to get this tower built. That's pretty much, it feels like that's what they're hinging the entire game on, is whether this tower gets up. It's like, oh, can't let that happen. And here we go, the tower goes up. Tower's up, here you go. Tower's up, folks. It's coming up, so you better get this party started. 2000s kids will know what I'm talking about. And holy farms coming out here next to the stables for the English. Gonna see some horsemen coming out pretty soon here. We have cavalry, presumably hoping to take out those towers. We'll see how that works here. Imperial officials doing their thing. Sneaky Chinese villagers back here have built a couple more outposts next to those gold mines. Way off on yonder of the English base here. And that knight is just waiting for those villagers. They are about to get destroyed. One down. There you go. And they leave the outpost, cancel it, and charge back to the other one with the knight fully in tow, trying to destroy them. Another villager goes down, and the knight appears to be pressing the attack on those outposts, and is now running past while under fire. Meanwhile, these outposts are harassing the crap out of these English villagers that are trying to gather wood. We haven't seen a single ram come out yet this game. Very curious as to why not. Actually, well, not curious because I haven't seen a blacksmith. You know, maybe that Barbican was just so successful at pushing that there wasn't even a second to get a blacksmith up. You know, and the gold disruption. That is tough, you know, because without rams, how do you deal with this? You'd have to have a mass of knights or something. Takes a lot of resources to produce. However, we got 2 knights back here that are charging along the edge of the map, trying to get inside of villagers' base, I'm assuming. Crossing the river in a moment there. We'll see what they're up to in a second. Excuse me, these landmarks just continuing to snipe away at each other. And a second town center is going up here for villagers only. I think that's pretty safe to say that is 100% going up. More knights coming out. Here we have it. Alright, I'm gonna go to select home. Here we go, we got 1 knight already harassing these villagers on the wood line with 2 more on the way, and another couple heading out as well. There's a steady supply of knights. Villagers jump inside the town center, fire away at that knight, killing him as that first ambush was deflected. Second town center up for villagers only. Still harassing the wood line. And we got more outposts coming up here on the back of the English side of the map, just steadily snaking those outposts closer to the King's Palace. Villagers only is also stealing stone from that side of the map. Now these knights in the backside of the base here have... Oh, sneeze coming. Oh my god, I hate that. And a sneeze. And then it never comes. Just the worst. Absolute worst. I digress. The first ambush there and the second ambush appear to have successfully disrupted Villagers Only's Woodline economy. There's 3 more knights left in that side of the base, so could be seeing another ambush here in a moment. Villagers running over to the gold mine. What are those resources at? Not a lot of food in the bank, so I don't really know if we're going to be seeing an age up anytime soon here, but Villagers Only is just steadily in the feudal age, holding on H2 and keeping the opponent boxed in. Seeing some farms here next to that second town center. And the knights, with a wolf behind them, are attacking these villagers, killing off some of the Chinese villagers near that wood line. Just keeping the harassment going. So both players really are strangleholding the other's economy as best they can. The villagers are going down. Knights charging after them. Oh, maybe not. They jump inside the town center. They're safe. Knights being fired upon with a machine gun of arrows. Oh, that one barely survived. Lives to fight another day. They're pretty weak though, so without a monk or something, they're going to be hard-pressed to put any more pressure on here. Here we go, the first blacksmith of the game, coming up next to that first English town center. How we're getting cancelled. I guess it was being sniped down by that outpost. English knights are kind of just patrolling the edges of the base here. Not really making the attack, just staying slightly out of range from that town center and the outpost, but close enough to let Villagers Only know that he's there. Enough to be a nuisance. And there's some combat happening here. The villagers have snaked enough outposts here to start firing off on the stables. Mostly it's just a nuisance, you know, not really going to be destroying those buildings with the towers, but definitely advancing quickly. We've got an English army of longbowmen there that are generally all pretty close to dying, so they're not going to want to get too close to any towers right now. These knights still patrolling the edges of the Chinese base. And a ton of longbow arrows going after that Barbican. Just one single health point at a time, ticking it down. And siege engineering is being researched, and then presumably steeled arrow. Combat happening all over the map right now with outposts attacking villagers, knights disrupting the gold miners, town centers firing away. Here we go, the first ram. Up. Rams have come online. We're seeing it. And a second ram, here we go. Things are looking pretty aggressive here. We are now close to 20 minutes into this game, and there is no sign of the action letting up. Not really clear who the winner is going to be, because, you know, while Villagers Only is right on top of his enemy's base, with those rams coming in, that is very quickly going to turn the tide here. And, you know, if all those outposts can be removed, that leaves the original base open for a night charge. No keeps up, so nothing super crazy in the way of defenses. Brody Monster himself is seated right behind me, gnawing on the bed, doing his usual thing. Pet. Chin scratches for days. Hell yeah. And the Rams, with a villager failing to burn them down. Rams are now taking out this first outpost next to the King's Palace. We got 6 villagers inside the English town center that are hammering away at that Barbican of the Sun. Yes, I hear you meowing. I am aware. I see you when I'm petting you. Brodzilla himself. For those of you who might be new here, the orange creamsicle cat that you saw in the thumbnail, that is Brody himself. He is my cat, the one that this channel is named after. Very cute, very friendly, and just all around a little bit of a meme, because he is that great. And the outposts are just firing away at that mining camp here. No English villagers coming to mine that anytime soon. I think I may have overestimated how quickly these Rams can tear through the outpost, but they are definitely working their way through it. Only a few villagers here trying to burn them out. Barbican is still more than halfway health. More action here. The Chinese villagers are really trying to take out those Rams, but, you know, there's only a few here on this little side of the map here that they're not able to take out the Rams fast enough as they're blowing up the towers. But another outpost is coming up here, just keeping the nuisance going. And we are at 23 minutes in the game here, about a couple minutes from what appears to be some kind of a victory, and I think I see where this is going, actually, now that, you know, I think I had initially overestimated the strength of those Rams, and thought that that would go slightly differently, but we are moving here. Holy outpost, alright. This is pretty much in the bag here. This is lockdown. The non-stop supply of outposts is just keeping this in a really tight spot. That sounds giggity. Knight killing off a wolf as he can. Got very little siege in this game. Unusual. A single trebuchet, nothing. It's been such a stranglehold on the enemy economy here that villagers only just managed to keep them boxed in so successfully. Another outpost going on here with villagers trying to get a mill up, and the knight is just killing them off one by one. I think they'll get the outpost up, but only a couple of those villagers will remain. Fast forward just a little bit here. Yeah, I think we see where this is going. The longbows getting sniped out by the towers, and the Rams working their way through the towers, but a couple villagers there that are still able to take them out with the help of those hand cannons. Got another Chinese town center gathering up stone. This is brutal. That's brutal. Stealing all the stone. And there you have it. That is a surrender there. Frodo surrenders, and the victory goes to villagers only. Good game. Well played, gentlemen. And thank you for watching here as well. Stay tuned for more gameplay videos coming out here. And yeah, do check out villagers only. That's some, that's some good stuff. All right, you guys have a good day here.